again tonight. Yeah, it looks like it's going to. Yay. Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to A Course in Miracles, Day 10. We're in double digits now, Karen. I'm Teri Angel here with my co-host, Karen Palmer, and we have a beautiful group in here tonight to discuss what we learned from Lesson 9 and going forward into Lesson 10. So, Karen, do you want to start us out with that beautiful way that you get us centered and balanced?
Okay, this is from the Holy Shift. And this is the lesson for today, January 10th. Dropping down into our heart, quieting all our thoughts, preparing ourselves for a beautiful lesson. Feeling that openness, gentleness, and being still. I have said you have but two emotions, love and fear. One is changeless, but continually exchanged, being offered by the eternal to the eternal. In this exchange, it is extended, for it increases as it is given. The other has many forms, for the content of individual illusions differs greatly, yet they have one thing in common: they are all insane. So those are the two emotions, love and fear. One is changeless, the other has many forms.
Just take that in. Because the only real one is love.
Just, when you relax into that perfect love, all the forms of fear just disappear. They really do. They have no more influence because they're all insane and they really make no sense. And you just, a lot of times you that the tiny mad idea where we forgot to laugh, you come back to that moment and you just say, hey, I'm going to laugh at that right now because it's so ridiculous to imagine, even begin to use our imagination to believe that we're separate from everything and everyone. It's insane.
Yeah, it's another, I think it's going to be another interesting lesson for us, is this lesson 10. But, every night we discuss how we did with lesson 9. And I'd just like to share some insight because I know there was a lot of struggle with lesson 9. So let me get to where I'm at here. Okay, lesson 9 was, I see nothing as it is now. And I know that that's hard to wrap your brain around. I know that. So what I got was, if we're watching a movie, we can get so wrapped up in that movie and it feels so real, doesn't it? Have you ever watched a movie and you're like right there on the edge of your seat and everything's so intense and you're like in the movie? Well, it's the same thing with us. We're in a movie, but that movie that we're watching on the big screen, it's not in the now. That movie sometimes took years to make. It was not just, okay, we sat down in our seat and there's this, this stuff happening on the screen. That's not in the now. So the same thing with us, when we're watching our movie, if we step away and become the observer, it's not just this moment, it's everything, the comprehensive. So the other part that might help put it into perspective is in the process of waking up, I do not need to try to totally erase my past learning. I do need to learn that all my thoughts from the past are not here and are therefore not real. It's only my belief that the thoughts from the past are true that engenders fear, loss, guilt, and all the other emotions of the ego. As long as I still seem to be seeing through the body's eyes, there will still be memories of the past, my past learning coming up to give meaning to what I am seeing. What's important is that I give these meanings in the moment to the Holy Spirit and ask for his reinterpretation. It is in this moment by moment practice that will free me from my investment of reality in what is not here. It's this process that provides the means to escape from the past that I have held on to in my mind. And my job is to develop the moment by moment practice of recognizing thoughts from the past, turning them over to the Holy Spirit, and receiving the blessing of his perception. And from this comes peace and joy. So when we say that, what was the saying again? I'm just like, I see nothing as it is now. And so it's true. We can't look at something with our physical eyes. There's the key, with our physical eyes and say, I see nothing as it is now. But if we're looking with our spiritual eye, then we know that we're really not seeing it as it is now. We're seeing it with all those emotions and the past stuff applied to it. So does that put it in a little bit more perspective for anybody? Does it make it a little more understandable? Uh-oh, Jean, you're muted.
Well, it does. That's helpful. Because I really got stumbled with this one. I mean, really, what happened is when I tried to do the exercises, I don't remember if I told you, but on TikTok, I saw a video. Some boys they were outside looking at the sky and the stars and talking. And this one guy was taking these pictures. And it might even been a setup, because they do that on TikTok. But they were looking at the stars and everything. And all of a sudden, the whole sky turned blue. I mean, like bright blue, not like nighttime blue, but bright blue. And they kind of went crazy. And one of the guys said, someone turned off the matrix. Now, I had to explain that so you understand what's been happening with me. When I start thinking this lesson, when I was trying to do this lesson, what I kept getting was that screen, that the matrix had been turned off. That's the way I was seeing our past, is that I have to understand that that's not real. So I would see that nothing. So this helps me to understand a little bit better what they were trying to say, because I kept thinking, well, okay, I've got nothing. What do I do now? It kind of was scary with nothing there. But I understand now that as long as we realize that's not real, we can take what we have learned from the past and use it in the now when it's important to do that, but realize that that past is not real. It's not there. So that did help me some, Teri. Thank you very much, because it is a little confusing.
Mhm.
I find, I don't know, maybe everybody else found it okay, but it was a little confusing.
Thank you, Jean.
Mhm.
Anybody else want to share?
Today, Terry and my mom birthday, and my uncle would call me by accident. My mom would feel it calling my uncle by accident. See, so I feel it with me all the day long.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure she's with you.
Yes, and my uncle calling me by accident. It's a fear calling my uncle. It's crazy.
Okay, honey.
Thank you, Chris. Suzanne said that this helped her to put things into perspective, the way it was explained. And Kathy says, I think so.
Good
That's
catch.
okay. Be honest and be open. That's all we can ask, right?
Yeah. It's like just forget everything and there's nothing that you know and just have to start from scratch. You know, I go through stop signs now and I stop.
It's only energy.
You always went through stop signs.
I go through stop signs and they stop at rectangle signs and yeah.
That's funny,
And then when
Charlie.
the cop pulls me over, I'll just tell him it's not a stop sign.
We deal with the car.
Suzanne said, Sharon, your video was very helpful as well.
I'm sorry, Teri?
Suzanne is sharing that your video that you shared with us was helpful as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I listened to that one too. Yeah.
The thing that impressed upon me with this lesson was when you read it last night, Karen, I just was like, okay. The words didn't stay. And when I listened to the video that I shared, it got better. But then I just went, you know what? I don't have to understand it, so I'm just going to let it go. And I just let it go. I said, I think I know enough to know I don't even want to say should, but that I'm releasing the structure of my thoughts. So I get that. And it was really useful by helping me not worry about what's next. I just was like, okay, I'm going to empty my thoughts. Nothing's here. Okie dokie. And I went on with my day.
And then nothing but you affects you. So it's like you. So you have to, you know, it's all your thoughts that you perceive that are making you do or go or do everything. So it's hard to wrap your brain around, you know, rewiring everything.
It's true, Charlie, but at the same time, I didn't want to put you're wrong thoughts or a negative feeling to my thoughts, or I don't want to have you thoughts, or I just was like nebulous with it. It's just, okay, well, okay, I'm not thinking that, and I'll go on with my day. And every now and then I would realize, oh, okay, I'm not thinking that, and move on. And something will fill in because we're only on day 10, we got 355 more days to go. So something's going to fill in at some point.
Yeah, they said once you get past 50, you know, it's So we're still here. So
We'll see if we go past 50.
We'll hang in.
so once you get past 50, it gets easier.
We'll see.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So any other sharing about lesson 9, and we'll go into lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. Oh, Suzanne says she practices on her dogs. I love that. All right. Well, let's see. Pam had fun with this one. I just love her. I just love her humor. And if you all have the book, her Course in Miracles experiment, to me, I learn when I have fun. And he always helps us to do that. So this one, the quote that she gave is, "We cannot create anew with the same old, same old, same old." And so I think that's where we're getting to, right? It's like sometimes we think those things that happened that are behind us, that we've experienced, they're still right there present, but they're not. They're already done. Why are we still carrying them around? Why are we pulling that baggage with us into the now moment? So lesson 10 says, my thoughts do not mean anything. And I was thinking about that earlier today when I was reviewing this lesson. And it sounds like we're kind of being hard on ourselves and disrespectful when we say, my thoughts don't mean anything. We can take it that way, right? Like, my thoughts do matter. My thoughts do mean something. But what we're getting to is those thoughts are all like past based on things that have already gone, that's already happened. And what the Course is trying to pull us to is into that holy moment, the moment when we can still the thoughts and say, what do I need to know in this very moment? How did you put it earlier, Karen? I love the way you put it. About what do I need to know in this moment? I can't remember your exact words.
What would love have me respond with this? How would love have me respond this moment?
That's beautiful. I love that.
Love, what would love like me to do here? How can I hear this with love?
Stepping away and being the observer. Yeah. You know, there's so much power in that. There really is. When we just constantly go, we don't really take it all in, what we're experiencing. But I love the thought of using the pause button. Like I said earlier, think of it like a movie. This is our movie. And we can hit that.
Next scene.
What did I miss?
Karen said cut.
I said, cut, next scene.
Well, see, that's what I was talking about. It's like it's a blue screen, and we're going to create onto that what we choose to think, to envision, to it's hard to explain it. But anyway, I think I'm starting to understand it a little bit.
Don't
Yay,
need to
it's good,
explain. Don't need to complain. Just say thank you.
Exactly. You know, Pam says, after years of siding with the thoughts in our heads, it can be confrontational to hear our, quote, precious thoughts mean nothing, to learn their useless mental commotion devised to filter reality. I think she explains it so well here. And she says, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if the thoughts tell us nice things. It doesn't matter if they spout spiritual wisdom or tell us we should proceed immediately to the nearest bed and pull the covers up over our heads. Either way, that voice is not us. So she says, just for kicks, stop for a second and make the voice in your head say, now all of you to do this, John Jacob Jingle.
Smith.
Jingleheimer Smith.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith
Good.
was my name too.
Do.
So what just happened? It was like we got into our silliness, didn't we? We got into mode. And when we're in silly mode, we can learn so easily. And we can really see the humor of all of this. That no, we're not saying that we don't matter. We're saying, you know what, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is staying in your heart and staying in love and being in the present with the love energy, not in the past with the fear energy. So
You know what's,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tara, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I just thought that what a precious gift that we can say, my thoughts don't mean anything, that they're not stuck and we don't have the ability to say, well, I'm not thinking of that. I just got this hit that, wow, what a cool skill. What a cool opportunity. What a cool thing that we can do, that we can think something different. We're not stuck in whatever we've chosen to think. You know, like glue, you thought that, so you have to stay with that. Sorry, can't change it.
Use that whiteboard. The whiteboard's blank. You know, what do you want to write on it? What do you want that day to look like that you've got?
Good example.
Kathy Hand says, I feel as I get older, I can let heavier thoughts go. I can release and let go. With age, wisdom really does happen.
Good job.
Good. When I grow up, I want to be wise.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, so I wanted to see if there were any other thoughts from insights from lesson 10. All right, so I am willing to practice today, remembering that my thoughts do not mean anything. This is my path to freedom. Wow, it is, isn't it?
Mhm.
All thoughts about a world of separation are meaningless. They are not true. So if we just stay in that thought of that doesn't mean anything, you know, that thought that I'm having, it doesn't mean anything. Releasing the attachment to having to have that identification sometimes, that's huge too, because sometimes we identify as a certain way, right? Or the child, the spouse, the friend, you know, the teacher, whatever it is. And so letting go of that sometimes can be hard as your identification. You're still that, you still have that experience, but we're talking about identifying yourself as spirit. And that's where this is freeing to you. Because just think about it. When somebody asks, who are you? What do you respond with?
Mhm.
It's
You
usually
can ask yourself, am I a soul or a role?
Mhm.
Have I been, am I being, in every second, every moment, am I being a soul, the soul of who I truly am? Or am I being a role, what other people think I should be, what other people expect of me, what I think I need to be, the false beliefs that have never served?
Yeah, exactly.
You get to choose, and every second is a beautiful new second. Every second is a beautiful new second, and every time that second comes around, you're choosing, who am I, a role or a soul?
I love that, Karen.
Me too.
So
You're so good at those.
And there's so many roles that we play throughout our life. And just watch the movie. Like, go back in your heart and just with spirit, take a moment to just rest and watch the movie of all the characters you've played, all the roles that you've played. Were you ever your soul in any of those roles?
Yeah,
That's a very important question to ask yourself.
it's very important.
Were you ever, and especially in those ones that you're so proud of, the ones that you're so proud of, the roles, those starring, where you starred and you felt like you were really a great role. Were you your role in that moment? Or were you radiating your soul? It's so important. It's like, it's instant, when you instantly pay attention to that and you start to ask yourself that question every time, like when you're upset about something or somebody upsets you and you're getting triggered and you're getting upset about something, who's upset?
Yeah, right.
Which character is upset about this? Which character is upset about this in the play? Is it the inner child who's having a temper tantrum right now? Or is it the grown-up woman who needs to show that she's done it and she's on top of it and she's going to prove herself to everybody? Or who are you? Ask that and really get deep into that question.
I think especially with this lesson right here that we have.
Tomorrow, yeah. When you do this lesson tomorrow, each time when a thought comes up that you're thinking, who's thinking that thought? Is it the soul or is it the role who's thinking that thought?
Yeah. And really ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Because, when somebody asks us that, we usually pull on, I'm a teacher, I'm a this, I'm a that, or, who are you? I think that's what we all need to do with this particular lesson is, look at those thoughts of when somebody asks you that question. Don't go into your resume, but go into who you are truly inside of you. I love this lesson myself. I think this is one we can play with. We can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Karen, I love that role or soul. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I'll send you this little email that I wrote. I'll post it in the group that I wrote. I write little stories about these things, how to, let go of our soul, let go of our role. And I wrote one that's called The Final Role. And it's, I'm playing my last role. I'm staying as the soul.
I love that. Well, guess what?
What,
For nothing.
So, Karen, do you want to take us out of here?
Okay, so my thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before, and we will again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time that we have used this kind of idea, and the form is just slightly different. This time, the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. And no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thought of which you are aware of are meaningless. Outside, rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness. When you think, you see. As such, it is a prerequisite for vision. So close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for the day slowly. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. The exercise consists, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts which are available to you without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful, do so that you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. This thought about blank does not mean anything. This thought about blank does not mean anything. Today's ideas can obviously serve for any thought that disturbs you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or even less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly if you do find yourself getting upset. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts, yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of the Creator. Would I rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful, meaningless, private thoughts? Play with that tomorrow.
Yeah. Bum.
The more we understand.
And if you hit a bump in the road, just give yourself a nice pat on the back and say, hey, I know that this thought does not mean anything.
Absolutely.
I'm choosing freedom, baby.
Gotcha.
Free as a bird. So thank you to Kathy Hand, Rosalind Goodthibe, Suzanne Millard. Who else was with us? We had somebody on YouTube, but I'm not sure who it is. Kula Yoga Community. And I think that was it. We had like 8 people on, but those are the ones that were commenting. So thank you all for being here. Sharon, love you, my sweet sister. Thank you for coming for the discussion. And
Gotcha.
y'all have a good evening that are leaving us, and we're going to go right into our chanting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Bye, Christine.
Bye.
Oh, and Hope was here. Oh, hi, Hope, Wellington Marshall. All right, so we are going to get to our chanting. It's yoga nights. So let's get going. Karen, the first chant, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, if you would please.
Yes, this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. And then beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number. And beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in a short meditation on freedom. And then we'll go into our second chant. So we declare that all obstacles be removed. Om Ganapataye Namaha. We declare that all barriers, conflicts, and violence be removed. Om Ganapataye Namaha. We declare that all illusions and illness be removed. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam
Ganapataye
Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye
Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye
Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
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 Ganapataye Namaha.
Om
Hey Namaha. Ganapataye Namaha. Namaha.
Om Gam
Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye Namaha. Gay Namaha.
Pataye
Namaha. Namaha.
Pataye
Namaha. 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Hey Namaha. Namaha. Hey Namaha.
Let's take a deep breath into our heart center. Just breathe in and focus on freedom. Focus on what it means to release everything and start from that fresh moment, the now moment that we are in, and know that we can create it any way we want it to be. We can bring on the miracles by just knowing that they're there. And that's where we're going, is to this miracle chant. That's our second chant. And we have Miracle Marlene chanting with us tonight. Hi, Marlene. And we have our Rosalind Good Vibes joining us. So thank you for being here. I'm going to type in the words, Karen, if you'll talk about Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, please.
Okay, so this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. Beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number. Then beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in the next part of our session. So we declare that all are accepting, aligning, allowing, and awake. Nam Myoho Renge
Joe.
We declare that all are happy and healthy. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all live in peace and harmony and are open and ready to receive miracles. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Nam Myoho Renge
Nam Myoho
Renge Kyo.
Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge
do,
Nam
you do, when you do,
Myoho Renge Kyo.
you do,
Myoho
no,
Let's go back into our heart center. Now we're going to focus on love. We're going to focus on compassion, joy, peace. And as we bring that focus with our breath into our heart, we're going to chant Om 3 times. Om is the cosmic sound for God. And then we'll hold that feeling in our heart for another moment, connecting it to our brain, and then giving the love away. So take a deep breath in, focus on the love, and let's begin the chanting of Om. 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 Pull that love a little bit deeper down inside. Focus on compassion, what you want to share with the world. And let's take a moment to just do that. Just pull in love into your heart with the breath. And with your exhale, send it out to the world. It knows where to go. It knows who's waiting for a light to turn on. So that may be the light you're sending. Just breathe in love and breathe out love. Breathe in peace and breathe out peace. Om Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. May peace prevail on our earth over every inhabitant. And so it is. Om Shanti. So every night we make a declaration that there is peace on earth. Auntie Jean, would you lead us in that tonight?
I would love to. We do make this declaration every night that there is peace on earth, because there is. We keep it here in our heart. And that's the other thing we declare, is that peace begins inside of us. So please join us on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1.
We declare
that
there is peace on earth. We declare that that peace
Declare
begins
that
inside of us.
inside of us.
So it
Is and
Ever
and ever.
Amen.
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 Charlie.
Hello, everyone. This is a chant that we've been doing, the 2 chants we've been doing as a group known for 953 days, as a group known as the
Peace for peace.
Peace.
the Peace for Peace.
Thank you,
Yes,
Charlie.
we are.
We sure are. We chant loud and strong so that the hills are alive with the
Why
sound.
sound chanted?
We miss you, Gracie, if you're watching this on the
Right, Gracie. We love you, Gracie.
We do love you, Gracie. And we thank you, everyone who was here. Marlene, good night to you, sweet one. I hope you have a wonderful night. And anyone else who may be tuning in to us now or on the replay. And just stay in your hearts and stay blessed. And we'll leave you with
Namaste.
Hey, y'all. Good night, everyone.
Night.
bye, everyone.